What's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for an ML Sports Take, brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Stumbling Monkey Beer Company, and our great friends at the Syracuse Fitness Store. If you are in and around Central New York, stop by Erie Boulevard, get all the best workout equipment at the Syracuse Fitness Store. Huge blockbuster deal today. The Seahawks and Broncos have agreed to a deal that will send quarterback Russell Wilson to Denver, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. The deal is obviously pending a physical and Wilson's approval. They're going to trade the Broncos are going to trade quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and 5 draft picks, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a 5th to the Seahawks. And Seattle will send a 4th-round pick back to Denver. This was kind of in the works at some point. We just didn't know where Russell Wilson was going to go. I know that management had come out and said, hey, or ownership had said in Seattle, hey, we're going to run this thing back with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. But to me, this signifies something very, very simple, that both teams just can't get past their differences in Seattle. Both sides, rather, can't get to, past what they disagree on. And so Russell Wilson now joins an AFC West. It's already locked and loaded with premier elite quarterbacks. The Broncos now can immediately challenge their rivals, the Chiefs in the West. Seattle's future now is completely an unknown. I wouldn't be surprised to see them now maybe even go into a full rebuild because you're just not going to be able to get wins without Russell Wilson. I know they finished last in the NFC West last year, but every other time they've had winning records. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1. They're constantly in the playoffs. They're constantly at the top of the division. And Wilson got hurt last year with a thumb and all the rest. So I look at this as a huge, huge win for the Broncos. And look, things just got really, really hard for every other team. And that's why this is just another piece of the puzzle, right? Where I keep talking about the Bills and I keep getting, people firing back at me that I'm being negative and da-da-da. I'm not being negative. I'm being realistic. The narrative changed for the Bills. The Bills got better. They made the AFC title game. Then expectations rose a little bit more, and they struggled at times during the season. They slipped. Allen slips on the 1-yard line. Dawkins gets blown up. They lose at Tennessee. They lose to the Jaguars. They don't get a top seed. They don't have home field advantage. They don't have any of that stuff, but they still manage to have a lead with 13 seconds to go at Kansas City. If they win that game, they host the AFC Championship game against Cincinnati, and probably, in my estimation, I think they win that game. And then in the Super Bowl, who knows? But their chances were as good as any. And that window is still open, of course, to win a title, or at the very least get to a Super Bowl. But the reality is, you have to start over, and then there's all sorts of other factors that happen, and it's already hard. I'm sure the Ravens will be back playing better. The Steelers are still hovering around. The Colts will be there. You've got the Chiefs to deal with. The Chargers should be better. Got to deal with the Patriots twice in your own division. You got so many teams to deal with. The Tennessee Titans, a ton of teams to deal with. And, the Cincinnati Bengals, who just went to the Super Bowl, and now you add Russell Wilson to the AFC. So these are the things that happen in the NFL. If it wasn't tough enough, look out, because we've got another unbelievable addition to the AFC as Russell Wilson is a Denver Bronco. Mike Lindsley with you here as we move forward in the offseason of the NFL. I'll continue to have a bunch of videos and takes for you. Please download and subscribe to my platform, the ML Sports Platter. I have a podcast on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, etc. Wherever you get podcasts, go ahead and download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. Please hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports and subscribe to this video channel and like the video as well. Awful, 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 awful. A lot of help needed now for the Seattle Seahawks in their future. Unbelievable day. Again, this is all pending approval from Wilson, which I'm sure that'll be a checkbox. And, of course, the physical. Video here brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Brian Comboy of Mass Mutual, New York State, Elevate Fitness of Syracuse, and our good friends at Rosie's Corner. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.